I feel like, so we talk about eating a lot, right? Talk about carnivore milk and like your diet. We talk about like lifting techniques. I think like a big component that I don't know if you get asked about a lot, but I feel like we skip over a lot is like sleep.
Yeah.
Like how important sleep is to doing it. I guess the question is like, if you have a bad session, like if you got a bad like night rest the night before, like how much does that affect it? Or some tips for getting good sleep? I don't know. Take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think sleep is, we have one video we've done on it that actually did pretty well, but I think sleep is, okay, what's funny is a lot of times in starting strength, they push caloric intake. It's like, hey, I want to keep making progress. I'll just eat more. Whereas, and then people gain weight. They gain belly fat, whatever. They get fat. And they're like, hey, well, starting strength made me fat because I was eating all this food because I was told to eat all this food. And it's like, well, yeah, calories do solve a lot of problems for you, but what are things that you can fix, right? And so sleep is huge. I mean, obviously you have to eat and you have to have calories coming in, like over the long term. I'm also on the fasting, but like you have to eat to some extent. But I think sleep is probably your biggest recovery variable that people miss the most on. I mean, my big sleep takeaways that I think are like doable, like, I could go full Huberman on you and be like, like turn on the red light, don't watch TV, read philosophy, Marcus Aurelius, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's like, hey, I'm not a robot. I'm a person, right? Like tonight, I'm on a podcast. I'm going to finish podcasting at 10:30 PM. I'm going to be all amped up. Like, I can't just go lay down and fall asleep. So I think a blacked out room is probably like my number one tip. And if you can't do a blacked out room, like my wife and I live in an apartment, it's lofted, there's skylights, so I can't. So I bought like a sleep mask. Like I looked at my dad and I was like, oh, my dad was onto something. So like I have like a weighted sleep mask that completely blacks things out. So blacking that stuff out. I do think phones, I'm not a proponent that they need to be in the next room because I feel like we're adults and should have some self-control. But like you need to realize like, hey, if I wake up in the middle of the night and it's 3 a.m., the phone is not the thing I should look at to find out that it's 3 a.m. Because you look at your phone and accidentally, I have 6 Instagram messages. Someone's tweeting at me. Like I have an email. And then all of a sudden, like your brain kicks into overdrive. So I'm like a big, like I keep my phone in my room, but I put it on sleep mode. And then like I light up my watch if I wake up and want to see what time it is. And I think it's like less aggressive on the eyes, but I think like blacking out the room and then not looking at the phone is huge. I mean, there's some like science out there saying if the room's cold, where you need blankets, you're supposed to sleep better. But I think those two things are like probably the biggest things. And I use a white noise, but I think that's a Grant thing. I just I literally take my phone every single night. I type in YouTube live rain. And there's like a live broadcast from Japan of rain falling. And I put it on Do Not Disturb and I set it down like slightly under my bed. I know exactly what volume setting it needs to be on and I go to sleep.
It has to be Japanese rain though.
Yeah.
It has to be Japanese rain.
But that Chinese
rain's,
crap.
Yeah. American rain's all over the map. You need Japanese rain, light, soft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Respectful. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, sleep is to like a very short, succinct answer. Yes, we don't talk about sleep enough. And I do think that is a huge example. I got on the plane, John Wayne Airport last night, 9:45 p.m., landed in Charlotte with the time change, 4:15 a.m. Drove here. I probably slept an hour and a half on the plane, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
4-hour flight. Drive home, get home, feed the cat, do a couple things, go get in bed, put on my night stuff. Maybe I sleep another hour and a half. I'm supposed to deadlift today. I'm supposed to deadlift and bench and do pull-ups. And I walk into the gym and I'm just like, man, I have like 4 hours, maybe 5 logged of the worst sleep I could possibly have.
Yeah.
I am going to deadlift. I was supposed to do 480. I did 455. And I did 3 sets total. And then I was like, I'm not doing anything else. Like I'm totally fried. I'm exhausted. So going in and realizing like, hey, this important recovery element, I did none of it. I'm going to adjust is another thing that's good to think about.
So if you have someone doing like their 1 rep backs, like would you just like, hey, a couple days before, including night before, like super strict, get to bed like what, 8 hours?
Yeah, I mean that's such a tough thing. It's such a tough thing as the coach. Like, it's better to say on YouTube for people that are trying to like fix things themselves and fine, actually, because the person in the gym, like, I can tell you to eat this much protein and not eat these fats and not drink beer and not do these things, but they do them anyway, right? So yeah, that is the advice I would give. But it's, you know, the ultimate human behavior of like how people act at home and what they end up doing. It's like I can only influence you when you're on the platform in front of me. Like everything you did outside the gym, like I can make recommendations.
Yeah. So you would just say like, put it as the same priority as a diet and consistency in the gym.
Yeah.
Sleep is up.
I'd probably put consistency in the gym, sleep second, diet third. Is actually probably how I'd rank them.
How's your sleep?
Who, me?
Yeah.
It depends on the night, man.
Yeah.
Depends how much work I got to do. So
Yeah. No, I get it.
The mortgage takes priority over sleep. You know what I mean?
I understand that. Well, that's the whole problem right there. People, you know, have actual other life obligations other than going to the gym.
But I have like tried to do like quit drinking caffeine like at noon, like don't have any caffeine past noon.
Oh.
And
do you find that helps?
Yeah, for me it does.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's where I'm with people that are trying to make adjustments. I'm like, hey, try this. Oh, that actually helps. Then you need to do it. I don't think there's a hard and fast rule that you can make for people. And I understand, like, everyone's got to work. People have stuff to do. Like when it's a drill weekend, you know, Jeff can speak to this. Like, you go to drill and like you're 100% turned on Marine Corps. Great. Sunday night you finish, you go to the airport and you're like, everything I usually do for the last 72 hours for my job, I have not done.
Yeah.
So now it has to get done. I'm like, well, how do I get this done? I'm going to sleep less. Like, but I also, if you take that into it, this is where people mess up is they're like, well, last Monday I squatted 415. So this Monday I'm supposed to squat 420. But over the 3 days before it, whether it's marine drill or something happened where like you didn't sleep, everything was bad, you were busy. Like you have to go in with expectations of realizing like, hey, I'm going into the session. Everything's not an equal playing table.
Yeah.
That's the part where people mess up. They're like, I failed. My program sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, well, like
there's so many other variables.
There's so many other variables. Yeah, exactly.